Point of order, Honourable Speaker. 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 Point of order.
Honorable, yes, honorable member, before we take another point of order. Yes, I'm coming. You know, yes, then you can just raise your tag. I will give you floor, but if you take a point of order, when there is another point of order unclear, it becomes a little bit clumsy. But I was trying to get some facts based on what is happening. What I am made to understand by the office of the clerk is that this section 100 that is being relied upon is for the honorable ministers to send in responses. Now, the office of the clerk is saying that they think that is not good enough. Listen to what I'm saying, my friend. Are you not hearing me? Are you not hearing? No, why should I repeat it? Unless I finish it up, you get the context. You will not be able to get anything out of it. Please, just one word, it cannot make you understand the context. Please, be patient. So they believe that what should be done is not only sending in responses, but to allow the ministers to come in themselves, get the responses to you, and you have the opportunity to ask questions. That's why they bring in these things under Standing Order 47. That is oral ministerial statements. Are you following me? Yes, that is what I just understood from it. Yes, sorry, before I come to you, somebody I was talking to, yes, Lower Salum.
No.
Not a
I was just trying to make it.
Huh?
No. Honourable Chair.
I have.
Honourable Speaker. Yes, Honourable Speaker. Because we are on our procedural issues, and that you have all opportunities and on your discretions to sift the ruling first, then you make your consultation, then later you can make your ruling. But now we can continue on our agenda, then later you can make your ruling on this matter, whereby you can able to get a facts of it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with all these explanations, there is one thing that is cardinally absent. The mover of the point of order is asking whether the responses were within time. Can you consult with your technicians and tell this assembly, yes, they were within the 30 days or not? Not necessarily to members. Whether they were within the 30 days, period.
You see, Honorable, I think you are right. But what I'm saying is, I did ask him. And the emphasis was on you members receiving it. This is what I'm saying. That's what I told him. That's what I said to him. Hey.
Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Honorable
Honorable
Speaker.
members, I want to suggest and rely on what the honorable member for Lower Salem said. Otherwise, we will waste time. Because what I am trying, the information I am getting is a little bit shaky. I have to confirm with them and from the clerk. And from the documentation, I have a document that is from the Honorable Minister, Public Service, that was dated and sent to this place on the 6th of August. I asked, when were these resolutions sent to the government? They said it was sometime in July. So naturally, this one, it will look like it may be here on time. But what I want to do is, because there are various ones, I want to confer with the clerk himself and get you information on it, and then be able to decide whether it is right or wrong. All right? And then somebody was saying something. Honorable Alimame, Honorable Councillor.
For me, I think this decision is right, because what I wanted to have a feeling on was the timing of this report to us here in Parliament. I am not referring to replies from the ministers, the ministries, from the Speaker. I am much affair with your current statement that you've said. You could also do that, but I'm just implying is an issue in Parliament here. We received this less than 10 minutes. So this is also another point that we think we should improve on, because you cannot invite a minister, receiving the statement, you go through and also be able to listen and reply to him. So this is also another disease that we think we should cure.
Yes,
Yes.
you know, we have said this many times. And if I remember well, I think there are times, in fact, we had to postpone sittings to allow members to look into the documents. We have said several times that if members must look at these documents, do their research and consultations to be able to perform well. We agree on that. Sometimes documents get late. You know, sometimes there are technical problems to get the documents done several times. So, but whatever the case may be, when you receive documents and you feel you are not prepared enough because you need to work on that document, then we reserve the right to suspend that sitting and then move it to another day. But as I said, this particular one that we are dealing with is supposed, the honorable ministers are only supposed to send the documents, and it's given to you, their responses. That's why I said the office of the clerk told me, which I will confirm with the clerk, that they brought this thing on the order 47, so that it will make it honorable minister not only sending the documents, but to come and present themselves and present the documents, so that you'll be able to ask your questions and get your answers. These are the two. But before we debate on it, when I do the consultations and before I make the rulings, I'll give you opportunities to say what you want to say. Yes, honorable nominated member, you want to say something?
Honorable Speaker, for me, I believe that you've already made a ruling. I can proceed, right? If you look at section 100, it is talking about the minister's reply to resolutions of the National Assembly. What we need to ask ourselves is whether this is the first update that the National Assembly is receiving. Whether this is the first update that the National Assembly is receiving. Honorable for Upper Salum did make a point. The first update on those resolutions was made during our third ordinary sitting. That is when His Excellency, the Vice President, made an undertaking to do further work and consultation on it. So now, if I told the honorable member rose on order 100 of the standing orders, which gave a stipulated period of 30 days. Now we have communications from the 6th, which means now the date is no longer about the responsibility of the ministers. These are internal administrations. And the office of the clerk also work on schedules. When the assembly is not sitting, we all know we are very bad with documentation. They will give us documents, you'll come to the assembly, and we'll be asking for copies. How many of us leave our documentations at home? So for me, I believe you've already made a ruling. Because the responsibility now, the liability, has shifted from the Honorable Vice President or the ministers to what? The National Assembly. So which means Order 100 is no longer relevant in this case. Thank you.
Honorable members, thank God, I think Clark was following, and he is out to come and confirm some of these things. He told me that most of the submissions from the ministries are on time. within the 1 month period. He said, we must not confuse two things. Standing Order 100, as relied upon by the Honorable Member for Janjanbureh, requires at least 1 month for responses. In that case, he said they were to send in these responses to the clerk, and the clerk would distribute it to members. He said by their own innovation, they believe that members should have the opportunity to interact with the honorable ministers on their responses so that they are able to ask questions. And therefore, they now have to bring it under Standing Order 47, where now the honorable minister will come and present this thing, their responses, and you have the opportunity to ask questions and debate with them. In that circumstance, he said, that one requires only 30 minutes before the session for them to distribute these things. So what he told me is, we can make a choice. If you feel we can only rely on section 100, where the honorable ministers will just send in their replies and they will be obliged to the replies and we continue. Or we continue the process that they have initiated, and that is, they will send the reply, they will move the whole thing to section 47 of the standing orders, so that the honorable ministers will come here and they interact with you, they give their responses, you ask your questions. It's not clear. Honorable. All right, can we just get it? No, just a minute. Just get one clear. Section 100 gives a time limit of 1 month for honorable ministers to submit their replies. 1 month. And the honorable member is saying that, was that 1 month fulfilled? Now, I said we will wait until when I have consultations with the office of the clerk, and then I will make a response. Thank God the clerk himself came up here. And now what he said now is, yes, it's true that these responses should be here within 1 month after they have been notified. And he said most of the responses are usually on time. It's just that at the time they respond, sometimes sittings are not on. The other thing is, for that section 100, it only requires honorable ministers to send in their responses. Just to send it in, and the office of the clerk will distribute it to members. That's all. He said they initiated this idea of bringing it under section Order 47, where ministers will come now and table those things before you. You listen to them, and then after it, you will have time to ask questions or to debate on their responses. And by that order, the requirement is no longer 3 months. It's just 30 minutes before the sessions that it should be given to honorable members, copies to be honorable members. Now, he's saying we make a choice about those things. I hope you understand now. I'm coming. Do you follow? Yeah, you want to say something? Yes?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. The issue that was advanced by the clerk to say most of the ministries do respond in time. We are talking about the issue at hand, specifically to this matter that we have at hand. There has to be record. And when the responses come from various ministries or the vice president, it is not for the office of the clerk, it's for the members of the parliament for their consumption. It's for the consumption of the members of the parliament. So what should have happened is for that for members of the parliament to be aware that these responses and the timeline we have given have been met by the various institutions. So if that is not
Honorable, that is not for members. That is for the administration to make sure that these things are time bound and they are these things. Otherwise, they inform us.
but the documents
Now,
are not
just
meant
hold
for
on,
their
just hold on.
consumption. But the
Honorable.
documents are meant for members'
Honorable,
consumption.
Honorable, I think we need to listen to each other if we are to finish these things. The honorable member for Upper Salon and the honorable nominated member said it here. Very clear. So what you are saying is the issue of members getting copies is an administrative issue. That has nothing to do with what we are talking about. So let's not box the two. Pardon? Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is, the matter is not only about the vice president or the response. The matter is about what went
No,
wrong.
I agree, but what I'm
It
saying
is about what
don't-
went wrong, and something went wrong. And we
No,
have to be able to
honorable,
say
honorable member
what
for
went wrong
Kiang
and
West,
correct it.
don't try to confuse the two situations. Let's get one thing clear, that the issue of members getting copies is an administrative issue. Let's get that very clear. Now, what you are saying is, specifically, whether the responses of all the ministers were here on time. That's what you are saying, basically. Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Speaker, I think we need to proceed. The point of order was on section 100 of the standing orders. And I think the member made it clear for himself. Now you have responded and clerk informed you. Was this document submitted on time? Yes, ministries submitted on time, they submitted. Now, under section 48 of the standing order, where the ministers will come and give reply, the document should be submitted to members of parliament 30 minutes before they respond. And I think that's what they have done. Now, this compilation came to us 30 minutes before. But the response of the resolution on the 6th of August, something that was sent in July, there was response on the 6th of August. I think that is in order. There is no violation as far as I am concerned. So the section 47 of the standing order is even more powerful than section 100 of the standing order. So we can rely on 47. Now we have the document, and the ministers will stand before us and then read the response, so we can have chance to ask questions and move on. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
Christine, please, give me chance, let me learn. Honorable, I want always to make informed decisions. I like to get more ideas from people so that at the end, we will do what is the best for us. That's why I encourage debates. So now, what I'm saying is, the point of order, if I understand the honorable member, is on 100, the time of receipt of responses from ministers. Now, the other thing, complaint, I said, is when do members get these documents? And that, I said, is administrative. Members should get documents as soon as possible. But we are also aware that when you give members documents early, they tend to forget and lose it, and then we are bound sometime to give them documents again. That's the challenge we do have. Now, on the ruling of what the honorable member said, is that the clerk informed me that most of the submissions are done on time. This is what I said. And I think I was advised by the member for Serekunda West to consult with the clerk to know what has happened. So what I am trying to do here is Yes, there is a point of order, but it may force us to have less benefit from the engagement. Because if we are going strictly by Standing Order 100, it does not require the honorable ministers to be here. They will only send in their reports to the clerk, and the clerk will send it to your pigeonholes or whatever. So, for me, my honest opinion is, I think this is the best way to do it, so that you have opportunity to interact with them. Yes, now, what, listen, I am giving only 4 people chance. Central Badibu, Sabak Sanjal, the movers, Janjambure, and the nominated member. Closed. From there, closed. No more tax. I will not take it.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I think the issue here, what the report that we got from the clerk, this is about a report. You know, we have to look at the section clearly, the clause. It said ministerial reply, minister's reply. Minister's reply and statements by ministers are different. No, they are different. These two, we need to look at 47. 47 says the vice president or ministers may make statements to the assembly on matters relating to their official responsibility, which may be either oral ministerial statements, be written ministerial statements. And 2, if you look at 2, it says a statement shall be oral unless the vice president or minister consider it appropriate to make a written statement having regard to, among other things, whether the statement relates to a matter of public importance and when the assembly will next sit. This one is talking about within 30 days of a resolution of the assembly. FPAC put a resolution to us here. This is
What we are saying is, nobody is refuting that.
so.
No. What we are saying here is that statement, that this written statement here, it's only for submission. It's not, then the minister would not have been here. This is what I'm saying.
Can you allow me to finish now?
Pardon?
I'm wrapping up. Can I wrap up? What I'm saying is, if we are going by our rules, do you understand? Then if Office of the Clerk felt it necessary to use Section 47, members should be informed before the session starts. Because these are laws that we are guided. You cannot tell us that because of 47, now you want the minister to come. When 100 is requesting minister to submit a report. And the order is on the report.
All right.
The order is on the report.
All right. Honorable members. For that one, this is not the beginning. We have been having this issue. How long? No, this 47. Ministers come here and then they respond here and you ask questions. Yes, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Like you just mentioned, Honorable Speaker, I think it is an advantage for the Assembly to be able to have ministers before us, having submitted statements that were required by them from the National Assembly based on resolutions that were passed to us. So obviously, where we have an issue would come from the order paper. When the order paper says ministers reply and says order 100, that is where it stops. At least the order paper should now read ministers reply order 100 and order 47, so that it will now allow the ministers to make statements wherein we will also be given that opportunity to engage with the ministers, as you just mentioned. But coming to the standing order that was raised by the honorable member for Janjambure, what you have mentioned is very clear. If it is confirmed by the clerk, by the office of the clerk, that these replies were submitted to them on time, then a ruling to that effect. Can you allow me to land, please? Then a ruling to that effect could be made based on the fact that the standing order that was raised by a honorable member for Janjambure is requiring the ministers or the vice president to send in their responses within a period of 30 days. That does not imply that the state minister's reply or responses should be distributed to members before 30 minutes of the sittings of the National Assembly. If it is so, it would be addressed under Section 47 of the Standing Orders of the National Assembly. But under the circumstances, Honorable Speaker, I am employing on you to make a ruling against the Honorable Member for Janjanbureh so that the proceedings of the National Assembly can begin. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Janjanbureh, and I think the last person was Honorable Nominated Member. Yes, Janjanbureh.
Honorable Speaker, it will be indeed very important to get the record straight. The feedback you give to this Honorable House in reference to Standing Order 47 as per advice by the Office of the Clerk. For me, something was wrong. On the order paper, Honorable Speaker, just to remind this House, it mentioned Order 100, not Order 47. And for me to choose in between Order 47 and Order 100, I want to believe that both should be applicable for the fact that we have both provisions in our standing orders. Going back to the letter that was sent to the National Assembly.
No, before you pass there, please. Are you saying that we go by Orders 100?
Honorable Speaker, I want to advise that we go by both Order 100 and Order 47, if possible, Order 48, subsection 2 of the standing orders. Because this is why we have these provisions in our standing orders as internal rules or regulations to guide the proceedings in this House.
Then do you know that when you go by those three standing orders, then the Order 100 may not necessarily apply. Order 47 may apply.
Honorable Speaker, I want to believe within the 30 days, ministries could always submit in their replies to the Office of the Clerk. And moving forward, during sittings, they can come forward to give reply relying on Order 47. However, Honorable Speaker, my point here is which I want to be very clear, because I believe the clerk is confusing two sections of the standing orders. That is 47 and 100. In the order paper that is before us, no one mentioned Order 47. What has been mentioned is Order 100. So to go by, we should rely on Order 100. That should be the point of discussion in this room here. Nothing else. Whatever innovations being made by the Office of the Clerk should reflect on the order paper to remind us on the point of law that the Office of the Clerk is relying on. So my take is, the Office of the Clerk is relying on Order 100 of the standing orders, not otherwise. And moving forward to conclude, Honorable Speaker, that you interjected, is the letter before us from the Ministry of Public Service Administrative Reforms, Policy, Coordination and Delivery. The letter before us said 6 August 2025. The date that the resolutions were adopted was 6th June 2025. And the standing order is very explicit. It says 30 days after when a resolution is adopted. It's very explicit. Whatever time you create for yourself to go and prepare a report and all not, that one is not in the standing orders.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honorable Nominated Member.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to make a correction to the last statement that was done by my own brother, Honorable Janjambure, it was not June, but July 2025. The resolution was not June, but July 2025.
Where hear you?
I said the correction I want to make is the resolution was not in June 2025, but July 2025. And you can have the resolution of the National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia on the adopted report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Public Accounts Committee, FPAC, July 2025. Okay, not June.
You are saying that what the honorable member for Janjambure is saying is not June but July.
That's the correction I'm making. So from July 10th, okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
July 18th to August 6th is within the 30 days time frame that was provided. And Honorable Speaker, my submission will be based on one thing, that is to encourage you to make a ruling. To encourage you to make a ruling on the standing order. And this is my submission. The honorable member rose on section 100 of the standing orders. And if you look at section 102 of the standing orders, it states that a minister who fails to submit a report under this standing order shall be deemed to be contempt of the National Assembly within the meaning of section 75, subsection 6 of the Constitution. Let's look at section 75, subsection 6 of the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. Section 75, subsection 6 of the Constitution reads, in this section, misconduct in office means that the person concerned has A, conducted himself or herself in a manner which brings or is likely to bring his or her office into contempt or disrepute, and B, dishonestly done any act which is prejudicial or inimical to the economy of the Gambia, or dishonestly omitted to an act with similar consequences. Honorable Speaker, now let's ask ourselves, if at all this resolution was passed on the 18th of July, and the responses received from the ministers was received on the 6th of August, and by virtue of the innovation of the office of the clerk, and the office of the clerk represents the assembly. And that also, I want to guide you, I want to refer you to our very own standing orders on page 1, which is the interpretations. The interpretations, it reads, in these standing orders, unless the context otherwise requires, assembly means the National Assembly, not the members. It is the service. It is the National Assembly. That is why all submissions are done to the National Assembly, which means the honorable ministers made their responses available to the National Assembly on time. So now, pursuant to section 75(6) of the Constitution, how could one interpret their actions to tantamount to what? Disrepute of what? Their office. Because if you must hold them to contempt, the Constitution is saying that they must bring their office to what? Disrepute. You give the ministers 30 days to reply. They reply within that 30 days. The clerk brought an innovation, which he has every right to do under the standing orders. And instead of applying section 100, he applied section 47. Now, how do you hold the ministers accountable to that? How do you rise on clause or order 100 of the standing orders? So, Honorable Speaker, my submission here is, no, I have not made any wrong. So, Honorable Member, I will not be corrected. Let me learn. My submission here is, the point of order is invalid. Because the point of order is referencing. You cannot read the point of order alone. You must read it together with the Constitution. And the Constitution is telling you on what grounds you can censure a minister. And, Honorable Member, I'm being disturbed. Honorable Speaker, I'm being disturbed.
Honorable, please allow him land, please.
I'm being disturbed. Let me land.
He cannot be talking and you talk again.
Yes. I'm being disturbed. Honorable Speaker, what I am humbly requesting from your office is to make a ruling on the point of order because it is invalid. Section 100 of our standing orders is making reference to section 75(6) of the Constitution, and section 75(6) have clearly stipulated that for a minister to be censured, There are conditions. There are conditions. And those conditions here, if we must hold them in account of misconduct, we would never have it because they have made their submissions within the relevant period. Thank you.
Honorable members, we have, as I said, I have listened to almost everybody. And I think I'm better informed now than ever. But allow me, I will make a ruling on this, following more consultations and getting more facts, and I'll give you the ruling probably tomorrow or day after. So can we continue? I now call upon the Honorable Minister. And sorry, before I call him, Honorable members, I have what I understand from you people, I may ask, in my ruling, I may ask that the clerk only confines himself to section 100. No minister will be here to table anything. They will just send their reports to you. Yeah, this, I want, this is what I'm saying, because it looks, when you talk about the other paper, order 100 is what is there. There can be an omission. But the intent is very clear. That is order 100 and order 47 or 48, I don't know. So what we are saying, those are omissions. Those can be omissions. The intent is what you look at before you punish. And now that it may create confusion. Because for me, as I see it, for me, the intent is good to allow members to ask questions. Now, if you want to put them together, it may create some confusion that we find ourselves in now. And in that respect, let's just go by what is required by our standing orders. 100, send in, Honorable Minister, send in your responses. It will be circulated to members, and then we go by it. But I will give you a ruling on this, probably these days coming. So we now continue. Honorable Minister, can you please take the podium?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. According to the Auditor General's report on financial statements of the Gambia for the year ended 31st December 2020, a recommendation on the payroll was made, and it's that the Personnel Management Office updates all employee personnel files by the end of the year and provide confirmation to FPAC. And the response is that while we are not sure which particular personnel files are referred to, we take note of the recommendation and will take steps to address the issue. You may wish to note that PMO is in custody of thousands of personnel files, the vast majority of which are in active circulation and updated. The PMO is also in the process of digitalizing all the personnel files for improved efficiency in records management. And the next recommendation is that the Ministry of Public Service expand its reform agenda to include digitalization and integration of personnel records. And what we want to say with respect to that is that, as indicated in the previous answer, this is an integral part of the digitalization efforts the ministry is undertaking. Through the Public Administration and Modernization Project, the process of recruiting a firm for this purpose is well underway. In fact, right now, it has that process has been concluded. Recommendation 19.3 on institutional reforms is that the Personnel Management Office, in collaboration with relevant institutions, shall develop a unified service rule for all agencies and subvented institutions. And our response is that it's well noted. However, the general orders, the public service regulations, and the Code of Conduct essentially exist as generic service rules available for all public institutions to anchor their respective service rules on. Nonetheless, the PMO is available to assist institutions develop or review their respective service rules and align them to the GO, the PSC regulations, and the Code of Conduct for the Civil Service. And on recommendation 19.5 on the health sector reforms, the recommendation is that the Ministry of Health, in consultation with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and PMO, establishes appropriate allowances for all public hospitals. Our response is that the recommendation is noted. You may, however, wish to note that public hospitals, has already been granted approval to pay some cadre-specific allowances to their personnel. These include on-call duty allowance, no specialty allowance, risk allowance, etc. However, we have recently observed that there are differences of allowances across the public hospitals, which need to be rationalized and harmonized to reduce the current rate of attrition among hospitals. We are happy to report that the Ministry of Public Service has already engaged with the Ministry of Health in this regard. Second report is of the Standing Committee on Finance and Public Accounts, FPAC, covering the 2020 audited accounts of government of the Gambia. And the recommendation there is that PMO, in consultation with relevant institutions, to develop a service rule that can be used by all agencies and subvented institutions. This is noted. As I said earlier, the general orders, the PSC regulations, and the Code of Conduct for the Civil Service essentially exist as generic service rules available for all public institutions to anchor their respective service rules on. Recommendation 12 is that the Ministry of Health, in consultation with PMO, to come up with an appropriate allowance for all hospitals and healthcare workers. I have already responded to that in 19.5b. And while we assure you of our commitment to implementing all these recommendations, we want to assure you of our highest consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination and Delivery. May I now invite the Honorable Minister for Health to take the podium.
Yeah, thank you very much. I should go? Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning, distinguished Honorable Speaker. Oh, Speaker is busy, okay.
Honorable Minister, can you go ahead, please?
Thank you very much, distinguished Honorable Speaker and Honorable National Assembly members. I hereby present the responses to the National Assembly resolution on the adopted report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Public Account, FPAC, July 2025, on the 2020 audited accounts of government of the Gambia pertaining to the health sector. Honorable Speaker, we have series of resolutions on the various hospitals under our ministry, and then there is health sector specific reforms. I wish to start as identified in the document with the recommendations per hospital, if that is okay with you, if that is suitable. I start with that for the Bansang General Hospital. The minutes of the board, number one, the minutes of the board meetings from 2022 to 2025 be provided to FPAC within 30 days. The response is management has made copies of all board minutes from 2022 to 2025 and forwarded to FPAC. Number two, the Ministry of Health shall provide to FPAC a detailed explanation for the excess number of board members FPAC within 30 days and take immediate measures to regularize it. Response, the appointment of board members is a prerogative of the Honorable Minister of Health. It is assumed that such appointments are made in accordance with established guidelines and procedures governing the composition of hospital boards. There is a follow-up to this, if I may. These are all being regularized. They were inherited circumstances and for specific purposes to strengthen the boards. And however, they have been regularized in accordance with the audit recommendations. See that the management shall seek minister's approval for all auctions as dictated by the Medical Services Act. Response, hospital management had duly written to the Ministry of Health informing them of the planned auction of obsolete vehicles. GPP was also notified and provided the necessary guidance, which included presenting the matter to the board for discussion and approval, engaging a registered auto mechanic firm to assess the vehicles and determine their values prior to the auction. Accordingly, the Riders for Health was contracted to conduct the essential assessment, and their report was shared with GPPA. Following the review, GPPA, the authority to approve auction of public assets, has been delegated to them. The auction was therefore conducted in compliance with their directives, and board members were present during the exercise. 4, that the Land Ministry shall ensure compliance with the dictates of the financial regulations in relation to the management of the budgets of subvented institutions. Response, the Ministry of Health is best positioned to provide further clarification on the measures being taken to ensure subvented institutions comply with the financial regulations regarding budget management, and this is further being strengthened, and the recommendation is taken note of. 5, the Ministry of Health provide an explanation to FPAC within 30 days regarding the payment of firewood and supervision allowance that the PMO did not approve. The response, the firewood allowance was introduced as a modest incentive to a few support staff, orderlies and environment cleaners who voluntarily fetched firewood for the hospital. Bansang Hospital admits approximately 6,000 patients annually, all of whom are provided with 3 square meals per day. The hospital's kitchen relies exclusively on firewood. Maintaining a steady supply has been a persistent challenge. To address this, the hospital engaged a small group of support staff to fetch firewood every 2 Sundays, paying each 600 every 2 months as a token allowance, not a monthly payment. Following the audit observation, this practice was immediately discontinued, The hospital now purchases firewood from local suppliers, though this has proven costly and unreliable. A donkey cart load of firewood now costs $1,000, lasting approximately 1 week, and the quality of the firewood is poor. At times, no supplies are available, forcing the cooks to search for firewood within the hospital premises to prepare meals. The supervision allowance was included in the hospital's budget proposals, which was reviewed and approved by the board and subsequently submitted to the PMO and the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance for endorsement. Once approved, the allowance was implemented for designated staff holding responsibilities. 6, that all recommendations by FPAC in its reports regarding Bansang General Hospital be implemented in full, and a status report provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which attracts sanctions. Response: all resolutions that fall within the authority and the operational capacity of the hospital have been fully implemented. Bundung Maternal and Child Hospital, BMC. 1, the management shall have a proper safe for keeping of cash collected. Response: the hospital management has since 2022 procured a safe which is installed at the accounts unit for safekeeping of cash collected. 2, that banking of cash collections shall be done more frequently in accordance with the financial regulations. Response: the hospital management has from 2022 instituted alternate days cash deposit system, except during weekends, in compliance with the financial regulations. 3, that management shall keep a proper record of the movement of items to ensure safekeeping and implement a proper monitoring and review mechanism to enhance compliance. Response: all equipment, movable or immovable, owned by the hospital are captured in the hospital's assets register with a unique number. However, the issue found at the time of the audit exercise was not about transferring an equipment from one clinical unit to another, but rather because of limited availability of some of the biomedical equipment in the hospital. It's not uncommon for units to lend equipment to one another when in need. This subsists in any resource-constrained setting like ours. This was what they found at the time and classified as movement or transfer. 4, the unsealing and usage of drugs from the store shall cease with immediate effect. Drugs shall only be dispensed at the appropriate points and by trained staff. The response is: following the exit meeting with the audit team, management introduced a system at the pharmacy unit where a staff member or staff is assigned to the store for accountability purposes. Additionally, 4 dispensing teams were instituted to be responsible for medicine dispensation to patients in the morning, afternoon, and night shifts. Therefore, unsealing of medicine containers and/or dispensing of medicines from the store is eliminated. Importantly, a rule outlining that without a prescription signed by a hospital-designated prescriber, that prescription will not be dispensed is in application. 5, that management shall with immediate effect install air conditioners at the store to ensure that drugs maintain appropriate potency, and confirmation to be given to FPAC within 60 days. Response: during the audit exercise, one of the air conditioners at the pharmacy store was faulty, awaiting repairs by the technician. However, that machine was burnt as per the technician's report due to electricity voltage fluctuations. Eventually, the unit was replaced with a new unit within a week. 6, the board and management shall ensure all prior year audit matters are resolved. Response: both the board and management, past and present, have and continue to demonstrate commitment towards addressing audit queries received with the best of its ability. 7, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Bundu Maternal and Child Hospital be implemented in full, and a status report to be provided by FPAC within 90 days, failure of which attract sanctions. Response. Implementation of recommendations is in progress and may take time. Recommendations are implemented according to priority and resources involved. However, the commitment of the board and management is undiminished over time, as evident in this update provided with enumerated actions taken so far. Buyam General Hospital. That number one, that management shall make sure that a detailed budget, including manpower, other charges, and development, is prepared and approved by the relevant authorities. Response. Since the rollout of the Integrated Financial Management System, IFMIS, to subvented institutions, including hospitals, management has been receiving approved manpower and other charges consistently since 2023. Please note that over the last 5 years, the hospital has not been allocated any portion of the development budget. This lack of funding has impacted the hospital's ability to undertake essential infrastructure improvements, procure advanced medical equipment, and implement critical development projects necessary for advancing quality healthcare services we offer to the community. Honorable members, this has been overtaken by events. A lot has happened ever since. Number two, that the Ministry of Health shall provide a detailed explanation to the FPAC within 30 days for the excess number of board members and take immediate measures to regularize it. We answer responses. We acknowledge the anomaly concerning the excess number of board members identified during the audit covering the period 2016 to 2021. Since then, corrective measures have been implemented and the current number of board members is maintained at 7 in accordance with the provisions of the Act. 3, that management shall, within immediate effect, cease the use of the private receipt books. All receipt books shall be exclusively procured from GPPC in consultation with the Accountant General. Response: the use of private receipts has since ceased to be used at the hospital. Private receipts have since ceased to be used at the hospital. During drug revolving fund tickets obtained from the DRF office are the only receipts used for all areas of revenue collection. Point number 4, that management shall make sure that all missing receipt books are presented to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which attracts sanctions. Response: with regards to the specific receipt book, GTR, it was reported that the book was soaked by rainwater due to a leaked roof or a leaking roof. This assertion has been corroborated by at least one member of staff. However, it is important to highlight that the auditors have not provided detailed information regarding the amount to be recovered from the said receipt book. Please note that these receipt books, the GTR, were utilized to charge for medical certificates at a fee of $500 each. In light of this, we suggest that the auditors in their subsequent audits provide a clear determination of the amount to be recovered. This will enable us to take the necessary appropriate actions accordingly. Point number 5, that management shall ensure there is adequate segregation of duties concerning collection, recording, receipting, and accounting of proceeds from the activities surrounding the internally generated funds, and the new processes in place shall be submitted to FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: the hospital administrator no longer holds responsibilities of financial transactions henceforth. Since the introduction of IFMIS in 2023, there has been total segregation of duties in place. Each revenue collector is assigned individual user rights through which daily revenue collected are inputted. This process is supervised by the head of the revenue collectors to ensure accuracy and compliance. Furthermore, the daily revenues collected by the respective collectors are banked daily by the collectors themselves. with deposit slips submitted to the supervisor who verifies with the bank before reporting to the accountant. The system has undergone verification by the auditors during their audit of the period ending 31st December 2022 to 31st December 2023, who have confirmed its implementation and effectiveness. See attached audits follow-up. 6, that management shall present to the FPAC evidence of payment made by AfriCell for the 2 years and how it was accounted for within 30 days. Response. Following thorough consultations, both written and personal visits made to AfriCell's head office, management has been unable to establish the payment of the sum of $260,000, covering rent payments for the years 2016 and 2017. Despite efforts to clarify this matter, no conclusive evidence verifies the receipt of these funds has been found. FNB reference 666-3223 and GT Bank reference 17840 respectively. Notwithstanding, these payments have not been credited to any of the hospital's bank accounts during the corresponding period according to the hospital's bank statement. The hospital remains committed to resolving this discrepancy and are open to any further recommendations or assistance you might provide in this matter. 7, that going forward, the hospital shall deduct withholding tax and remit it to the Gambia Revenue Authority on time from 2022 to 2025. Response. Since then, withholding tax has been charged on all grounds and services, on all goods and services, and the taxes collected have been remitted to Gambia Revenue Authority. This has been verified by the auditors during their audit of Biam General Hospital period 31st December 2022 to 31st December 2023. 8, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Biam General Hospital be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The hospital is compliant with FPAC recommendations. Farafenni General Hospital, that management shall ensure that payment voucher numbers are never duplicated. Response. The hospital is currently using the Financial Management Information System, IFMIS, in which duplication of vouchers is not possible. Therefore, the issue of duplication is addressed. 2, that the CEO of Farafenni General Hospital shall provide the FPAC within 30 days a detailed explanation of why GPPA requirements were not adhered to, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The queries about payment vouchers without 3 quotations and delivery notes have already been addressed, as the hospital management has now signed framework agreements with suppliers or vendors, which permits the management to conduct single sourcing procurement for goods and services in line with the GPPA regulations. 3, that the CEO ensures that the fees paid in respect of Mamad Kebe to the University of the Gambia are recovered and provide evidence of the recovery to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The said fees paid to the University of the Gambia, that's $20,000, was refunded since the 29th October 2024. 4, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Farafenni General Hospital be implemented in full status and the status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The hospital is compliant with the FPAC recommendations. Kanifing General Hospital. 1, that the management shall make sure that the payment vouchers queried are provided to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The hospital is still searching for the payment vouchers queried and some were found whilst others are yet to be found. 2, that all missing supporting documents shall be provided to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: all missing documents requested are found and were forwarded to FPAC. 3, that management ensures that withholding tax is deducted from suppliers or is remitted to the GRA as required by law. Response: since then, withholding tax have been deducted and remitted to GRA. 4, that management ensures that all procurement made are in line with the GPPA rules and regulations. Response: this recommendation is noted and procurement are since aligned. 5, that hospital management ensures that stock is valued and end-of-year balances are recognized accordingly. Response: the hospital complied and all stocks are valued and end-of-year balances are recognized. Number 6, that immediately the hospital desist from issuing expired drugs. Response: the hospital complied with the resolution and acted accordingly. 7, that management put in place as soon as possible a detailed financial manual which will outline the hospital's financial procedures and processes. Response: financial manual outlining the hospital's financial procedures and processes have been developed or has been developed. That management develop a detailed service rules regarding the operations and staffing of the hospital. Service rules regarding operations and staffing have been developed. That's the response. 9, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Kanifing General Hospital be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Unfortunately, we missed the response for that one. That will be provided subsequently. We now move on to Seizide Regional Eye Care Center. 1, that management shall make sure that senior revenue collector maintains proper records of all tickets issued to junior revenue collectors for reconciliation and accountability purposes. Response: this recommendation has been fully implemented. A structured ticketing and reconciliation system has been established, and all revenue collection activities are now properly recorded, monitored, and reviewed on a regular basis by both the senior revenue collector and the internal audit unit. 2, that the board takes measures to recover the amounts of $54,600 from the CEO within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: the former Chief Executive Officer has been formally written to regarding the recovery of the said amount. A copy of the official correspondence is attached for reference. The board continues to follow up to ensure full compliance and recovery. 3, that the board take immediate measures to recover payments without supporting documents amounting to $1,549,502 and report to FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: this issue was identified as arising from unpresented payment vouchers during the audit exercise. The management has since initiated corrective actions to locate and reconcile all missing documents. This process is ongoing and efforts are being made to ensure that all payment records are complete and properly filed for verification and reporting to FPAC. 4, that management provides to the FPAC within 14 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: in his report to note, it is important to note that Sezide Regional Eye Care
Sorry,
Center.
Honorable Minister.
Yes, please.
You know, number 4.
Yes.
Yes, can you read that again?
The management provide to FPAC within 14 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. It looks incomplete, Honorable Speaker. It looks like something is missing. I'm not sure if this is how we received it, but we can verify. I was trying to get to the response. Probably the response will address it, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir. Response. It is important to note that the Sezide Regional Eye Care Center was initially managed by an interim management board from its inauguration in 2007 until 2018, when a permanent management board was constituted by the Honorable Minister of Health. The current board's review indicates that the decision regarding the allowance increments was taken by the previous interim board in 2007. Unfortunately, there are no traceable minutes or documentation on record to confirm the specific proceedings or rationale for the decision. Management is currently conducting a thorough review of archived files in an effort to retrieve any relevant records that may still exist. Honorable Speaker, this is a very important point. Looks like it's talking about allowance adjustments. So we will beg for your indulgence to get the correct point, the correct query, and address it subsequently. Yeah. Point number 5, that the recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Sezide Regional Eye Care Center be implemented in full, and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. Management has commenced the full implementation of the FPAC recommendations. Continuous follow-up and monitoring mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that all actions are completed and compliance reports are regularly submitted to the appropriate authorities. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Towards the end, there are some other points for the Minister of Health. 19.5. Those were as part of the general resolutions. 19.5, health sector reforms. A, that the Minister of Health consult with the Minister of Justice to review all acts of the National Assembly relating to the health sector and align them with the current realities. Response. A consultant has been hired through the World Bank to support the review of all Ministry of Health sector acts and bills. New ones have been developed, and bills. As soon as it is completed, the ministry will engage the Ministry of Justice for necessary actions. B, the Ministry of Health, in consultation with MOFIA and PMO, establishes appropriate allowances for all public hospitals. Response. Human Resources for Health Directorate are currently working on all hospital allowances and will consult the PMO and the Ministry of Finance to finalize it. C, that the CEOs of hospitals shall possess the requisite administrative qualifications and shall not serve as consultants concurrently. Response. All the CEOs have the jobs minimum requirements, though some are doctors. However, the ministry will request to engage you on the consultancy issue because CEOs who are doctors continue to offer valuable services to our health sector. D, that the Ministry of Health ensures that all public hospitals put in place proper patient management systems and a pharmaceutical product management system. Response. The Ministry of Health has put in place the best possible management system, and pharmaceutical product management system will highly depend on availability of resources as we speak. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Health.
No further. Okay.
I think we.
I can't wait.
Can we now invite His Excellency the Vice President?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I thought that as the honorable ministers are here, it's better for them to respond directly, and if there are any questions, then they can respond. So allow me now to fill in the gaps of the other ministers that are not here. Honorable Speaker, on reconciliation and compliance, that all discrepancies identified in the 2020 accounts be reconciled in the 2021 government accounts, and the current status be provided to FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Honorable Speaker, the Accountant General's Department has worked on various reconciliations and compliance issues, and they will be working with the auditors for their confirmation. Be that in line with Section 29(8) of the Public Finance Act 2014, the Minister of Finance shall refrain from approving requirements for the creation of new posts that are not included in the approved manpower budget. The resolution is noted, and currently the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs is working with stakeholders, Accountant General's Department and PMO to integrate HMRS, that is Human Resource Management Information System, and IFMIS payroll module. This will go a long way in resolving the current budget shortfalls we are currently experiencing and reduce the extent to which requirements are done.
Your Excellency, can you please, when reading the response, just say response so that it's noted.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On documentation and transparency, that the Accountant General Department submit all pending requested documents to the auditors without further delay, and a confirmation to be sent to FPAC within 30 days. The response: the Accountant General Department is working on reconciling all pending accounts. However, the technical issues that are affecting reconciliation have been escalated to our suppliers. B, that the Minister of Finance comply with Section 29(4) of the Public Finance Act 2014 by consulting affected budget entities before making requirements. Response: this resolution is noted, and henceforth the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs will notify affected budget entities on environment requests. On C, that the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs provide evidence of environment approvals to the Accountant General within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs will endeavor to provide available evidence in due course. On revenue and expenditure management, that the Accountant General Department account for all below the line funds received within 30 days and provide an update to FPAC, failure of which shall attract sanction. Response: the Accountant General's Department has been notified of the above resolution, and they will provide the required information to FPAC in due course. That the Accountant General Department investigate and report on the status of all cancelled checks within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: this resolution is noted, and the Accountant General's Department has been notified to provide response. C, that Accountant General Department furnish FPAC with the investigative findings of the task force on the intercompany account within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response: this resolution is noted, and the Accountant General Department has been directed to provide response to FPAC as requested. D, that moving forward, Accountant General Department shall submit all the audited accounts of self-accounting projects to FPAC for scrutiny. Response: in accordance with the FPAC resolution, the Accountant General will henceforth submit all audited accounts of self-accounting projects to FPAC for scrutiny. Payroll and personal management, I think that was responded. by Honorable Minister of Public Service. I think, Honorable Speaker, it brings me to 1.5, procurement and contract management. That moving forward, public officers violating procurement laws by entering on unauthorized contracts shall be held personally liable for the amounts involved. Response. This resolution is noted, and moving forward, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs will comply as stated. That MOFIA suspends cash allocation to non-compliant procuring entities as deterrent. Response. This resolution is noted. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs will consider the suspension of cash allocation and other viable options henceforth. C. That the AGD provides supporting documents for payment voucher totaling $27,360,324.10 and $1,517,329,882.42 within 30 days to FPAC, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The MDA's concern has been formally engaged on the provision of supporting documents. However, responses were received from the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Minister of Tourism and Culture, and Minister of Justice, which have been shared with FPAC. Banking and reconciliation. That moving forward, MOFIA and Central Bank of the Gambia ensure that all third-party revenue collections on behalf of the government be reconciled on monthly basis and quarterly reports be submitted to FPAC. Response. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, in collaboration with the relevant stakeholders, AGD, GRA, and CBG, has devised a mechanism where all third-party collectors are lodged in a dedicated account at the central bank, where the distribution of the funds will be done thereof. This mechanism is intended to enhance and expedite the reconciliation process in providing report to the stakeholders. 1.7 on debt and loan management. That MOFIA prepare an annual borrowing plan in line with the Public Finance Act and submit it to the National Assembly together with the annual estimates. Response. This is prepared annually in line with the Public Finance Act 2014. The Ministry will endeavor to submit the annual borrowing plan with the budget estimates. B. That minutes of loan negotiations be maintained and provided to auditors as and when required for verification. Response. The minutes of loan negotiations are maintained and provided to auditors when requested. C. That the Directorate of Debts and Loans at MOFIA provide the status of loans to parastatals or public enterprises and their repayment status to FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The status of loans to parastatals or public enterprises are available in the system and can be provided upon request. Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GAIPA. That GAIPA remit all statutory deductions on time and submit proof of compliance from 2023 to 2025 to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. While GAIPA remains committed to fulfilling its statutory obligations, including the timely remittance of pay as you earn and Social Security contributions, we regret to inform you that remittances for certain periods between 2023 and 2025 are currently in arrears. This non-compliance is primarily due to the removal of 75% of its revenue source, that is special investment certificate issuance fee of 1% on approved investment value in 2023. Hence, inadequate budgetary resources and cash flow constraints that have affected its ability to meet these obligations in full on time. However, the following measures have been initiated to address the situation. 1. Arrears assessment and reconciliation. A comprehensive reconciliation of outstanding statutory deductions has been completed, and the total liability has been quantified in consultation with the relevant institutions. 2. Internal controls and prioritization. A revised cash flow management framework has been adopted to prioritize statutory obligations within available resources and to prevent further accumulation of arrears. 3. A formal request has been submitted to its line ministers Motai for supplementary budgetary support to enable the clearances of outstanding liabilities and restore full compliance. B, that all recommendations by FPAC in its reporting regarding GAIPA be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. GAIPA acknowledged the seriousness of this matter and affirmed its commitment to regulatory compliance. This agency will continue to provide periodic updates and submit supporting documentations to FPAC and the ministry as required. Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, that GRA land valuation be updated to reflect current market values and the status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. Engagement regarding land valuation is in progress as GRA is in consultation with the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government, and Regional Affairs to undertake the exercise. C, that GRA submit the revised staff vehicle loan policy be submitted to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. This revised staff vehicle loan policy has been submitted to FPAC. D, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding GRA be implemented in full and status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. GRA is committed to complying with FPAC in implementing all the resolutions. Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, that the IEC shall conduct appraisals on investment to ensure maximization of gains. Response. My office has brought the resolution to the attention of IEC and we are following up for response. B, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding IEC be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, of which shall attract sanctions. Response. IEC is committed to complying with FPAC in implementing all the resolutions. 5, NANA, National Nutrition Agency, NANA, that NANA provide proof of recovery of outstanding rent within 30 days to FPAC, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The outstanding rent has been fully recovered and proof has been forwarded to FPAC. B, that NANA remit all sundry deductions on time and submit proof of compliance from 2020 to 2025 to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. Remittances of all statutory deduction on time. This is also fully compliant and proof are forwarded to FPAC. See that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding NANA be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. All recommendations regarding NANA are fully implemented and a status report have been forwarded to FPAC. Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, that PURA remit all sundry deductions on time and submit proof of compliance from 2021 to 2025 to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The resolution has been brought to the attention of PURA and they are directed to provide the required responses to FPAC. See that PURA shall submit minutes of the meeting of the board from 2021 to 2025 to the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The resolution has been brought to the attention of PURA and they are directed to provide the required responses to FPAC. D, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding PURA be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. PURA is committed to comply with all the FPAC resolutions. Honorable Speaker, I think the Honorable Minister of Health has responded on Bansan Hospital. I think that will take us, my apologies, it's not numbered. What? Yeah, to the councils. My apologies for not numbering. On 13, Mansakonko Area Council. That management implement the appropriate good corporate governance practices as established by the relevant council policy and procedure documents. Response. The council has developed a financial policy manual to guide financial processes, internal controls, procurement, and reporting procedures. Its implementation has significantly enhanced good corporate governance, strengthened accountability mechanisms, and standardized operational practices. 2, that management adopts and applies appropriate and responsive accounting framework and policies for the preparations of its financial statements. Response. A digital database has been created and it's actively maintained to record all demand notes issued, registered businesses, rates assessment from every district under Mansakonko Area Council, and payments received and areas outstanding. Also recognizing limitation in its direct access to the National IFMIS platform, the Council has developed a parallel reporting system using Microsoft Access integrated with Google Drive. This enables real-time data entry and monitoring, monthly bank reconciliations, preparation of timely financial statements, reliability and accessibility for audit trails, and quarterly financial reports presented at General Council sessions for review and approval. That the Central Council, through the chairperson, assume its full responsibility as outlined in the Local Government Act. Response. The Council is cognizant of its responsibility and has positioned itself to perform such functions as prescribed in the Local Government Act. 4, that Council, through the General Council, take up the matter of reinstating a revenue components of billboard fees, hotels, and lodges licenses, and car park fees with the relevant authorities and report to FPAC within 60 days. Response. Mansakonko Area Council currently has no active revenue records on billboards because billboard fees have not yet been collected. Revenue from hotels and lodges are being recorded in the newly developed database system. Moreover, updated list of registered lodges, amounts charged, payments received, and area status are available and can be provided upon request. Therefore, Mansakonko Area Council remains committed to reinstating and strengthening these revenue sources in line with the FPAC directive. 6, that a similar approach shall be pursued with the government through the relevant ministries to facilitate the execution of the grants. Response. This resolution is noted and the Council is working on it. 7, that the Council shall initiate the process of reviewing the current rate of tax levies to update them. Response. Currently, an ongoing assessment exercise is underway, and the full reports will be submitted once the assessment is completed and rates finalized. 8, that management shall prepare control accounts for the debtors and creditors, as well as monthly abstract for the relevant revenue heads as per the requirements of the manual. Response. This resolution is noted and the Council is working on it. 9, that all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Mansakonko Area Council be implemented in full and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The Mansakonko Area Council has made substantial progress in implementing FPAC resolutions, particularly in strengthening governance frameworks, digitalizing financial records, enhancing real-time reporting, and preparing the ground for comprehensive revenue collection. We reaffirm our commitment to full compliance and continuous improvement, and we remain available to present further updates as required. Kerawan Area Council. Kuntaur Area Council. Unfortunately, we have 5 resolutions with 1 response. Mr. Honorable Speaker, maybe just to say the report, the above resolution have been referred to the police for investigation. That is the response that we have received. Kerawan Area Council. That management shall ensure that ledgers are maintained and the financial statement is revised accordingly. Honourable Speaker, I crave your indulgence because there are 11 resolutions, but the response is lumped as one. If you allow me, I'll just go to the response with your permission. Regarding the issue of license or operational fees, the Council has put in place new strategies to increase our revenues from under 30 million to about 70 million within the 5 years term in office through augmenting our taxes as well as harnessing new revenue streams left untaxed. To this end, Council passed the following resolution to increase Council taxes by 100% effective January 2024 in consideration of the service improvements of the Council. The Council intends to embark on and abnormally low taxes in terms of compound rates, trade licenses, rents, and market daily fees being collected by Council are not sufficient for Council to be able to adequately provide the services demanded by the people. However, the challenge in achieving this objective has been the lack of the legal backing of a gazette at the Ministry of Justice through our line ministry. Consequently, we will not implement the increment on license and operational fees because it is challenged by business and companies in our jurisdiction. Furthermore, the Council wrote to its line ministry to request for valuation officers to be sent to Council to reassess businesses and property rates, operational license, and government establishment in our jurisdiction to guide the Council to come up with new tax schedule that will commensurate with the increment of taxes as resolved by the Council. Regarding the rest of the issues raised in the adopted report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Public Accounts, FPAC, by July 2025, the minutes of the Finance Committee purposely convened to review that issues raised and the management response is provided to FPAC. Kanifing Municipal Council. Again, Honorable Speaker, we have 12 resolutions, but the only response we got that all the necessary original payment vouchers and receipt books are forwarded to the FPAC. Banjul City Council, BCC. That the Council provide the source of printing of unconfirmed GTRs with serials 8061012, 8065550, and the number of books for verification by the FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The Council have written to the Gambia Public Printing Corporation to provide verification of the unconfirmed GTRs with serials 806610112, 8065550. Council is awaiting response from GPPC and the feedback will be shared in due course. On resolutions 2, 3, and 4, the response, the Council have written to the concerned officials in relation to the recovery of suppressed collection amounting to $195,120. On resolution 5 and 6, again one response. The unpresented cash books in respect of the Albert Market collectors, namely Malik Njai, Kumbaba, Amisala, Yabandur, Alajis Njai, and Jalika Mane were presented for review to the auditors after the draft management letter was issued to the Council. 7. That Mustafa Bachili, CEO, Ibu Drame, Acting Director of Finance, and Katim to the Director of Planning shall refund the value of almost $4 million concerning the contract to the abattoir and stores within 90 days to the council, and confirmation be sent to the FPAC, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The council have written to the mentioned officials on the modalities of refund of the value of almost $4 million concerning the contract on the abattoir and stores. 8. That the management shall provide supporting documents in relation to a payment amounting to $200,000 in respect of COVID-19 emergency support to FPAC within 30 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. That all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding BCC be implemented in full, and a status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Note, the council is intensely working on the other resolutions, notable evidence for the preparation of the 2019 financial statements, cash books for the year 2019 and 2020, supporting documents in relation to payment amounting to $200,000 in respect of COVID-19 emergency support. Basse Area Council. That all recommendations by FPAC in its report regarding Basse Area Council be implemented in full, and the status report be provided to FPAC within 90 days, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The resolutions to the attention of the council, and we are still awaiting response, and that is from my office. But we have not got response from them. General resolutions. Judicial and Finance Oversight, Judicial Secretary. That the judiciary prepare and submit its account to National Assembly commencing with the financial year ending 31st December 2021. Response. The judiciary has submitted its financial statements covering the period 2016 to 2021 to the Auditor General on the 30th September 2024. The financial statements covering the period 2022-2023 were also submitted to the Auditor General on the 30th December 2024 in compliance with the National Assembly resolution. Digitalization and revenue management. The digitalization, I think that was also responded to by the Minister of Public Service, if my memory serves me right. Okay. And the next one, institutional reforms, also I think was responded by the Minister of Public Service. Then governance and accountability. That the President shall review the composition of governing boards and councils chaired by the Vice President and Ministers to ensure independence and effectiveness. Response. The resolution was noted, but composition of boards, council chaired by myself or minister are always prescribed by the respective acts of agencies. B. All ministers shall ensure that the approved budget of subvented institutions under their purview are submitted before their portfolio committees for review during the budget bilaterals. Response. This resolution is noted and we will improve on the budget bilateral process. That MOPSI saw the budgets for Gambia National Library Services and Amana under their ministry. Response. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, MOPSI, has reflected the budget of the Gambia National Library Services Authority as sub-program under the Strategic Policy and Strategic Management 200114, that is Gambia National Library Service Authority, with the following budget lines. 251101, subvention to non-financial corporation OC. 251102, subvention to non-financial corporation PE. D. That the Ministry of Regional Government and Lands take appropriate steps to ensure all deployments to council have the required qualification and integrity. Response. As part of efforts to ensure that all deployments have the requisite qualification and integrity, the ministry have brought this matter of concern to the attention of Local Government Service Commission, which is responsible for their appointments, promotions, and confirmation in appointment, etc., of council staff, to ensure that all are in line with the established scheme of service, which clearly outlines the various positions as well as set criteria. Honorable Speaker, the health sector reforms, I think, has been responded to by Honorable Minister of Health. That brings us enforcement and compliance 19.6. that all MDAs shall put in place robust control mechanisms that shall be established to monitor revenue collection processes and prevent financial irregularities. Response. Through the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs and its stakeholders, Accountant General Department and GRA, robust control mechanisms have been put in place to monitor revenue collection process. Legislative and policy reforms. That the National Audit Act should be amended to include modalities for surcharging by the Auditor General. Response. The administrative of surcharge has been incorporated into the National Audit Office Bill 2025, which has already been submitted to the Cabinet for consideration. Local government accountability. That local government council prepare credible accounts in line with the Constitution, Local Government Act, and Public Finance Act, failure of which shall attract sanctions. Response. The Ministry has formally written to all councils to remind them of their responsibility to ensure that they prepare credible accounts in line with the Local Government Act and the Public Finance Act. B, that all payment vouchers shall be verified by internal audit before approval by CEO. Response. Internal auditors are also reminded to ensure that all payment vouchers in respect to council expenses are properly verified prior to approval by the CEO. Withholding taxes from contracts and procurements shall be deducted and remitted to the Gambia Revenue Authority within this statutory period. Response. Councils are also requested to withhold taxes relating to contracts and procurement entered into or made at any given time, and to ensure that such taxes are remitted to the Gambia Revenue Authority and on time. E, that the minutes of all council and committee meetings be recorded and filed. Response. Minutes of all council and committee meetings are to be properly recorded and filed accordingly. F, that all councils shall provide a resilient ICT infrastructure to ensure continued availability of their IT systems. Response. They are encouraged to maintain an efficient IT infrastructure system. G, residential and commercial properties in all councils shall be revalued to reflect current market values. Response. Attempts to conduct proper valuation to ensure that they reflect current market values ongoing. A task force to that effect comprising of representatives from all councils as well as relevant stakeholders have been constituted. A terms of reference developed and concept note prepared. A council shall avoid unplanned expenditure and ensure all expenses are budgeted or approved by General Council. Response. Councils are strictly warned to desist from unplanned expenditures unless approved by the General Council and to ensure that all expenses are actually budgeted for. I, fixed asset registers shall be updated regularly with all required details. Response. Councils have maintained their fixed asset registers and are reminded to periodically update them. J, all councils must use the IFMIS for their financial transactions not later than the end of December 2025, failure of which shall attract sanction. Response. Councils are warned to use the IFMIS at all times for all their financial transactions and refrain from operating the manual systems. And finally, Honorable Speaker, FPAC recommendations. That all the recommendations made by FPAC in its report that are specific to the institutions must be implemented within the specified time frame, failure of which shall attract sanction. Response. All MDAs have taken note of the resolutions and are endeavoring to fully comply. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Honorable members, pursuant to Order 48.6 of the Standing Orders, and I quote, after the statement has been delivered in the Assembly, a period of questions on this statement, which shall last not more than 1 hour, may then ensue. The Speaker shall determine the period taking into consideration the content of the statement, the number of members wishing to ask questions, and the pressure of other businesses. Honorable members, may I now invite honorable members to ask questions relating to His Excellency the Vice President and honorable minister's statements. You can do your submissions. Honorable member for Central Badibu.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, are we going to ask numerous questions or are we limited to ask questions?
I was going to suggest that we do it one after one by one so that every member has an opportunity. Because if you ask so many questions and the time frame is just 1 hour, others may not have the opportunity to ask. Unless members think otherwise. Yes, honorable member for Jarol Pony. What the honorable member asked. Yes, honorable member for Olyundum.
Yes, I was going to react to that. I think it would be important for each member to have at least 3 questions, at most three, because we are dealing with health, your public service, and other ministers. But at least 3 questions per member would be okay.
Honorable member for Bintang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am in line with your suggestion that each member be given 1 question, so that we can go within the 1 hour. If we allow other members to go for 3 questions, it's going to be hectic, and other members may not have the opportunity to ask questions.
Members, are we 3 questions or 1 question? Yes, Honorable Lower Salum.
Yeah, I think you allow members to make their statement because there's nothing like even question, a statement from members. You understand? Because we will repeat it, each other as we are going. Allow members to make the statement, then we continue.
So, you said, let me allow members to do what?
To ask questions, because we will be that repeating each other.
I agree, but how many questions we
1 is
ask?
okay.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 5?
1 is okay.
One. Yes, honorable member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think, Honorable Speaker, I'll align myself with those who said we can ask 3 questions because, as alluded by the deputy majority leader, that we have 3 ministries, and if any member who wants to ask a question about any ministry can be asking particularly on each of these ministries. Thank you.
Out of 3. Honorable members, we have 1 and 3. I think those are the 2. Now, if we cannot make a determination, I'll put it to a vote. All right, those in favor of 3, raise your tags. 3, those in favor of 3 questions, raise your tags. Have you got it? One question. 1, raise your tags. 1 question, raise your tags. You got it? No? Now, pardon? Yeah, what are you saying? What are you saying? Huh? He did not count? To Manna, what do you mean? He said he counted everybody. Abstentions. Abstentions, you've got it. Honorable members, the results, those members who want 3 questions to be asked, 6. Members who want only 1 question for each member, 8. And abstentions, 0. So we will have each member 1 question. Honorable member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, under Bansang Hospital, an issue has been raised that the Ministry of Health shall provide to FPAC a detailed explanation for the excess number of board members to FPAC within 30 days and take immediate measures to regularize it. In response, the minister said the appointment of board members is prerogative of the Honorable Minister of Health. It is assumed that such appointments are made in accordance with established guidelines and procedures governing the composition of hospital. We are not clear. We want the minister to inform us. Is it true that what FPAC has said and the prerogative of mercy that he has, is it in the health rules or where? Whether it's an act of Minister of Health or not?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member, as I mentioned earlier, what we met was an arrangement of ensuring efficiency. Some of these conditions we inherited. Now, we realized that quite a number of the boards had additional people, now including addition of the Director for Health Services in some of these boards. Apparently, I think the ministers, the administration prior to our coming, realized that they were having quite a number of challenges. And those challenges included board decisions that were not conveyed to the ministry, and then actions in hospitals that really were not done by the ministry. So that this communication, lack of proper communication was there. And Director for Health Services himself or herself, as it were in the past, were included. And some other members like the governor of the region where the hospital actually is. Now, this was also aimed at ensuring that they get the support from the local governance structures or the local people and the decentralized administration in the regions. However, when this was brought to our attention, we went to look at the act, and then efforts have been made to address the situation. Now, we looked at it in a certain, in various ways. When a board is already formed, it becomes difficult now. Who do you withdraw from that particular board at that particular point in time? Now, but of course, it is an issue of compliance. Then when their terms ended, those adjustments were made. And a similar thing is being done as we speak to you. The board membership of the period has elapsed for, I think, Bansang itself, and then that all the challenges will be corrected. So this is the genesis. They were inherited situations that we are addressing over the period. Thank you.
Central Badibu. Are you fine?
Yes, the other part is not answered. The prerogative of mercy that you, a prerogative that you have as a honorable minister, I'm asking whether is that in the Act of Health or where do you find it to make appointment?
Well, it's not the prerogative of mercy, it's the prerogative, there are certain positions where is the honorable minister that selects those members. Probably that's what the answer is trying to say. But of course, it is within the remits of the Health Services Act. Thank you.
A follow-up question, please.
We will defeat the purpose. Honorable member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister 1.1, that's where my question is. And that is B. The issue is about approving environments for the creation of new posts. So the question is very specific about new posts.
Honorable, under which institution?
This one is under the Vice President.
Under?
Under the Vice President.
Which institution?
Finance. Yes. Yes, I'm saying page 1. My question is in page 1.1b, which is talking about approving environments for the creation of new posts. While we appreciate the answer, the response, but the question is actually very specific on environments for the creation of new posts that are not in the manpower budget. So I don't know. I need a clarification.
Honorable Speaker.
Your question is to the Vice President, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, and what is it?
Oh, my question is, I'm saying, let the Vice President give a specific answer on the question, because the question is very specific on making environment for people who are not in the manpower budget.
Can I observe the procedure, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, I think the procedure, what we can do now, as long as the Minister of Health is at the floor of the House, we exhaust his questions. From there, we can get the Finance Minister. Because I get the questions for the Health Minister, means it will be up and down. Okay, then that's fine. Then that's fine.
Has no question for the for health. So you see, so we going by the list. Your Excellency, do you understand his question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I understand the question. Unfortunately, I did not see the audit report, but normally you cannot if it has not been approved by the manpower budget. Because normally your budget bilaterals is with the PMO. When PMO approves the manpower budget, that is the time now finance will put some money in those lines. Otherwise, it cannot be.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. My question is with regard to the councils, especially the Banjul City Council, because I feel the responses are not adequate. Because they are saying that the council have written to concerned people. How long has this been done? And then how long are you going to wait for their response? What I'm saying, if you look at the responses written to Banjul City Council, because they are saying that the council has written to concerned people. How long has this been done? And how long are they going to wait for this response to be made by those concerned people?
Okay, what you are saying is, I think in that one, the ministry is responding, saying that they have written to council to inform them. And now you are asking, how long would it take council to respond?
Not even the council. The council have written to concerned people at the council. With me now, they are waiting for their responses. How long has that been done? And then, how long are you going to wait for their responses?
whether
The Vice President understood me.
what I'm trying to get is, if I remember some of the responses, it looked like the ministry itself is responding on behalf of councils. It's saying that they have written to councils to inform them about A, B, C, and D. Now, your question, if I want to know, is, are you saying that how long would it take councils to respond to those demands sent to them by the ministry? Or are there areas where the council themselves said they have written to people and they are waiting for results? Okay. Which area? Where? Your Excellency, are you Banjul City Council? Okay.
Yes. They are saying that they have written to concerned people. How long has this been done? And how long are they going to wait for those responses?
Honorable Speaker, we take note of the concern of the Honorable Member, Poji Gerald. My office continues to put pressure on them for responses. But I think those names that are mentioned are also part of the Local Government Commission of Inquiry. So I think probably maybe when we get the final report, we'll do all of that, because those same issues were raised at that inquiry. Thank you.
Your Excellency, what I wanted the Honorable Member, he has concerns, and we want to be specific so that you will be able to communicate. Honorable Member for Jarol, Banjul City Council, which specific area are you talking about? The first one.
Like number 4. If you look at number 4, Banjul City Council.
Yes.
You look at the response.
Yes.
They are saying the council have written to the concerned officials in relation to the recovery of the suppressed collections amounting to $195,120. Now that was what they have written to them. So we don't know when has this been done, and then how long would they sit to wait for this response?
I think it's now well understood. Those and similar ones in their
exactly.
response.
There are many
like
there.
where they have written to people, and they stop there. You want to know how long would that take?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Your Excellency.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, like I said, I take note of that concern. I agree with the Honorable Member. I think from my office, we'll also put pressure on the line ministry to make sure that council follow up as soon as possible. But I also mentioned that some of those names are also covered by the Local Government Inquiry Commission.
The Honorable Member for Olyundum. Honorable Member for Pony Bintang. Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on Buyam General Hospital, an issue has been raised by FPAC that the management shall, within immediate effect, cease the use of private receipt books, meaning the private receipts books were used at the facility. And I just wanted to be clear, since the use of these private books, what were some of the consequences? So some of the consequences that the people using the private receipt books have faced in regulation to our laws? And if yes, if there is, has this action come to the management's notice? Have it ever come to your notice that there are some people at the institution or at the facility who are using the private receipts? And was there any mechanism to monitor, ensuring that the private receipts would not have been used by the institution? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I want the Honorable Member to kindly guide me. Which question was it again? Which resolution and which hospital?
It's question 8, Buyam General Hospital, and then coming down to 3, the management shall within immediate effect That is the recommendation by FPAC, and there was a response, but these were the questions that I wanted to be clear of.
Number 3, the manager within the use of private what was the question, honorable member?
The use of private receipts
Yes.
within the facility.
Yes, please. What was your question?
4. Yes.
No,
Honorable-
my question is, I just wanted to be clear, one, to know whether there was any mechanism of monitoring to ensure that private receipts would not have been used by the facility. And
Honorable,
by
Honorable,
some
what we
people.
are saying
And-
is,
yes.
you make reference to Biam General Hospital. Which specific recommendation or resolution are you talking about? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, etc.
No, I said number 3, the
Number
management shall
3.
be thin.
Number 3. Yes. Number 3 is the management shall within immediate effect cease the use of private receipt books. All receipt books shall be exclusively procured from GPPC in consultation with the Accountant General. That's the recommendation. Yes, and your question is?
My question, Honorable Speaker, hence this is a public forum. I am asking whether the ministry had in any position or has been in any position of monitoring to ensure that private books will not be used in the facility. And also, the people who were using those private books, of course, there has been malpractices, based on issuing the private books. Was there any consequence that they have faced during this period when the auditors have, witnessed or have seen the issuance of these private receipts? Thank you.
Honorable member, that one we have passed that stage. There are recommendations and resolutions passed by the FPAC and debated here, and then you approved of it. And these recommendations are saying, number 3 is saying that within a specific period, they should cease the use of these receipt books. The receipt book used, how much was involved, where they have been doing, that has passed. That's not the stage now. The stage now here is, those recommendations, are they being implemented or not implemented? If you have any doubts about that, that is where we are. But we are to go back to what the FPAC did, looking into the nitty-gritties, those who were using unofficial receipt books, what came out of it, etc. That has been debated, and that resulted in this recommendation. Now we are after the recommendation.
Honorable Speaker, the question that I am asking is all about the implementation. That's what I'm asking about. Because the implementation, meaning from at a time when the auditors realized that the private books were being used, at the implementation, I expect the ministry not to only rely on the auditor's query or the auditors realizing that the private books have been used, but instead I expect the ministry to act, not only relying on the resolutions made by FPAC. What steps have they taken? That's part of the implementations that I am asking. And then also, do they have any monitoring system? That's what I'm also asking about. So it's still part of the implementation that I am asking about. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Yes, honorable member for lower.
Yes, I think the subject matter here is orders 100, ministers' replies no resolutions.
It was debated. This thing was tabled before you. You saw that there were unofficial receipts used. That it was then that those things come out, and it was from those debates and all these things that this recommendation emanated. If you now want to go into the details of, for instance, those receipt books, what has happened, those who were using it, etc., that will take us back to another time. FPAC made recommendations with your approval that those things should cease. The question now is, the recommendation is that management shall within immediate effect cease the use of the private receipt books. All receipt books shall be exclusively procured from that. And the response is, the use of private receipt books has since ceased to be used at the hospital. Drug revolving funds tickets obtained from the DRF office are the only receipts used for all areas of revenue collection. You are taking us to now those non-official receipt books now. What is happening? Honorable, I'm not going to entertain debate on this. That question. Pardon? Yes, please. All right, reframe it. I give you another chance.
Honorable Speaker, I am definitely part of this committee, FPAC, and this is our own resolution. But I just wanted to know by the minister, what is the status of using these receipt books since at the time the FPAC was making their resolutions with regards to using of these receipt books. Thank you.
Honorable, you know, FPAC said they were using false receipt books. Or this thing, FPAC said that. It was bred and they said it should stop. They are saying that it has stopped. No, I don't, you are what you don't going to, I'm not going to allow people to go into those nitty-gritties. It's based on the resolutions and the recommendations. Please. Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I have a question for His Excellency the Vice President under the Kanifing Municipal Council, where Resolution 1 to Resolution 12, Kanifing Municipal Council, yes, that's 16, 16 16, yeah. 16, yeah, 16. Kanifing Municipal Council, 16. Yes, number 16. Bold. Yes, you are there. Where Resolution 1 to Resolution 12 were recommended by FPAC, and where the question were lumped on only one short answer, that all the necessary original payment vouchers and receipts books are forwarded to the FPAC. And in some of the resolutions, like 7, the committee was asking shall give updates on the outstanding balance of 121,806. It is saying that the management shall present all official investigative reports on illegal alleged fraudulent cases. So like this particular resolution point were not answered. I just want to ask you.
What you are saying, honorable members, the recommendations and resolutions of FPAC are not answered.
Yes.
That's what you are saying.
Yes, so in short,
why are they not answered?
Some of the key points are not answered, and why are they not answered? In some of the, in the way of the
member.
Specifically, resolution 7 and 8 are not on issues of payment vouchers. If you look at the resolution, they are not on issues of payment vouchers. These are specific to something else, particularly reports. So if the
question can do is questions of the public.
It was fired without their notice. So I want to ask the Vice President, how was this resolution dealt with? Did you invited the Minister of Finance? If at all that's what transpired, then they would have not fired this 97 million, which was earmarked for road rehabilitation. And the other one,
Honorable, before you move, you know, that's the question that institutions should be notified before environment. And their response is, so their response was, the resolution is noted and henceforth the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs will notify affected budget entities on environment requests, isn't it? You are now saying that that may not be true because they have filed some amounts from other institutions without those institutions being aware. That's what you are saying. That's the question you are putting. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
The question is, my argument is here. How did you do the consultation regarding to these resolutions with the ministries, department, and agencies? How did they go about with the resolution? Because they are telling us that this resolution is noted, and henceforth the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs will notify affected budget entities on environment request. So did they engage the ministry? Did they engage the ministry? If that's the case, then this environment would have not, the Ministry of Finance, regarding to this resolution. Because, yes.
Engage them.
Who was this resolution sent to? Was it not to the office of the Vice President?
Yeah, you know, the resolutions are sent to the office of the Vice President for various ministries. All right? And what the Vice President did here is to collate what the ministries gave him, their responses, to put them together. These were answered by the ministry. Now, I want him to understand your question. Your question is what?
Honorable Speaker, what I'm saying is that...
Your Excellency, if you understand his question, then I just allow you to answer it, please. Yes, go ahead.
No, but I can...
Honorable Speaker, I think the only clarification I want to say from the honorable member is when he talked about budgets. Because budget, as you know, is not an approved. Because you talk about the budget this year, you know, so that is 97 million. Is it the budget for 2026? Or it was what was approved for 2025? That is correct clarification. But the crux of your question is, for all these questions that are the resolutions that are sent to my office, we write to the various ministries. So any answer you see here is from the ministry. It's not from the office of the Vice President.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker. My question is that, and my argument would be, we realized during the budget bilateral, of course, is the 2025 budget. In the 2025 budget, we were even told that all accounts have been closed as of now.
Honorable Speaker.
Which is in contrast.
Yes.
Tension.
Honorable Serekunda.
What are these?
Just hold on. I need clarification here, Honorable Speaker.
What clarification?
Honorable Speaker, we agreed that each member will ask one question, and he's asking the second question.
Yeah, this was why, in fact, I gave him, because you asked a question, and then he responded. You are coming for another one. That's why
Honorable Speaker, I want to make one thing clear here. Let me tell you, my brother, I want to make one thing clear here.
Honorable.
Nobody's denying you that.
Nobody's
denying you.
Address me.
Yeah, I'm addressing you. He is not the speaker. You are.
No. Honorable, please address me. I also share the opinion that you asked a question, it was responded. Yes, the question was responded. Whether you are satisfied or not, but it was responded. Now, this is what I'm saying. Listen to, Honorable, listen to what I'm saying. You asked a question. The Honorable Vice President responded. You may not be satisfied or you feel he has not answered it, but he responded. But I don't want people to try to beat the system by coming out with two questions in one frame. No, we will not tolerate it. What do you want us to understand? Go ahead. Go. What do you want?
maybe it's not an adjournment debate, but I have adequate response to you. You can tie my hands.
Honorable, I said.
What I'm saying is, how did they go about this consultation? Because this letter was sent in July, and in December, we were told that $97 million was budgeted for in 2025. When a request was made for those allocations, they were told that the money has been wired for personal emoluments. So which means that this response does not match with the realities on the ground. So we want to know how the consultation was done.
Honorable Speaker, I just repeat my response. Like I said, we wrote to the ministries, and this is the response that we got from the Minister of Finance. I think that's the question. It's not response from my office. This is a response from the Minister of Finance.
Honorable Member for Combo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I need clarity from His Excellency the Vice President on the responses they've given on the Kerewan Area Council. It has been.
Can you give us a number on Kerewan Area Council?
Kerewan Area Council, number 15.
15?
Yes.
Okay.
The page numbers are not labeled. It has been responded as regarding the issues of license or operational fees for area councils to raise them from 30 million to 70 million. There was a strategy that.
Which number are you looking at? Which resolution?
Responses for.
You are only looking at the response.
Yes, I'm going into the response.
The response is one.
The summarized response.
Yes. Go ahead.
The response in summary has stated that. Let me summarize my question. Has stated that the Kerewan Area Council has been working on strategies to increase their rates and taxes by 100%. But below on the second paragraph, it has also stated some challenges that the council has been facing from their line ministry. That is to have it gadgeted, and this response to me, it doesn't get into my own desire, because many of these councils are crying of the same thing. Then, if that line ministry is giving these kind of responses, it's like there has not been any effort made. It's either this thing is being put on the table for them to consider yes or no. What other measures are they doing? We need these responses to be it should be detailed enough to make sure that we know what next do we need to do as a parliament. Thank you.
And his question?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, I understand the question. Actually, Honorable Speaker, even my staff will confirm to you that that's why even some of the responses, if I had more time, they were going to change. Because what I've seen, even with the response, as you can see, response from the Honorable Minister of Health, because some of the responses, they come directly. You could see that the ministry did not put their input there. I'm not even sure whether this response has gone to the ministry itself, because it's directly from the council themselves to my office, which I agree with you, a lot of them, I'm not even comfortable. Even there are other institutions which you have not mentioned. Some of their responses I felt were not adequate. Really, it's not addressing the resolution itself. But I want to urge you that we'll do more to make sure that next time, the responses are actually addressing the resolutions as they were given by FPAC.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Combo East. Honorable Member for Bununga Kunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to refer the Assembly to 19.8 on the local government accountability. That General A, that the the local government council for them to prepare credible accounts. So the response was they've written to all the councils for them to.
Are you? Which
I
number?
mean, local government accountability. Second to last page.
Second to last page.
Yes. .8.
Yes. Which number? A, B, C?
Yes, A.
Go ahead.
That local government council prepare credible account in line with the Constitution, Local Government Act, and the Public Finance Act. So looking at the council, the response is they written to all the councils for them to prepare credible account. So looking at the current situation of all the councils, be it their financial directors and CEOs, it's more of the same people are rotating in various councils. So I don't know what we can do, because it's like they lack capacity. So what we can do, or what they can do for the central government and the local government to collaborate so that we can have personnel who are qualified enough to prepare credible accounting system.
Dealing with the resolutions. You see, my problem actually is, it looks like these responses are coming from the local government ministry. Councils themselves have not responded. It looks from this one. Councils have not responded. Well, that's why they are telling you they have written to the councils. And what the Assembly is requesting is answers to those problems, those recommendations. It's not to ask whether it has been forwarded or not forwarded. I think that's the issue here. When local government ministries should have consulted the councils and get their replies, and they send us those responses. I think that's what is missing.
It's okay.
Your Excellency.
Honorable Speaker, I think to some extent, yes. That's why you see the difference. Some of the response we get directly from the councils. That's why we're able to get. But some others is the ministry. I agree with you. Yes.
So I think the comments are that members don't seem to be satisfied with the response that we have written to councils. All what they want to get is what are council's responses to those recommendations put forward to them. So the ministry should try to get those responses from the councils to incorporate it in their report.
Speaker, I agree entirely.
Yeah.
We'll take note of that.
How do you call it? Bunduga Kunda?
Yes, because the reason why I'm asking, they are written to, and I know maybe they will respond. So, but what they are written to, they will respond that they will adhere to that. But maybe they always talk about challenges in terms of capacity. So whether they will be able to, because I am part of FPAC, most of their audited financial reporting are in disclaimer. So for that being the case, I think it's high time, hence they are representing the local people, they should be accountable and be transparent in their financial system. This is what I'm just trying to put across, because at the end of the day, they always talk about this subvention thing. If you cannot account for your own account and you want people to give you money, so it's going to be a challenge. So this is what I just want to put across. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I guess honorable members will recall that there was an earlier resolution to make sure that all councils are part of the IFMIS system. And I think you have an earlier response that most of them are now on IFMIS, although I think there are one or two that are not yet. But the Ministry of the Accountant General Department is actually moving forward to make sure that all of them are on the IFMIS. I think the moment they are there, that will reduce a lot of these problems. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question is going to be referred to the Minister responsible of Public Service. Honorable Speaker, on recommendation 1.4, out of the minister's response, my question, yes, 1.4.
Hmm?
No.
On which headings?
It's going to be a payroll and personal management.
Page 3.
Yes.
Page 3. Payroll and personal management, yes?
Yes. On minister's response, my question will be, Honorable Minister, did your ministry made any findings of the particular personnel files that the audit report referred to? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, as the response indicated, we are not sure of the particular files that the auditors were referring to. But what we know is that there are thousands of files. I wish you saw the records office at the PMO. All over the office, you have, personnel files, and it's sometimes very difficult to, access some of these files because of, the movements. But as a result of those challenges, we are now working on digitalizing all of them so that you don't have to be bothered about the hard copies. Everything will be digital.
Honorable members, let me on your behalf thank His Excellency. Pardon? Huh? Honorable, I have added about 3 minutes to the whole time. So let me, on your behalf, thank His Excellency the Vice President and the two honorable ministers for health. Pardon? He said what? Honorable member.
Yes, I said with your discussion, you could have given me 1 minute because I raised a follow-up. You said, no, let me wait more time. With your discretion, I mean.
Give you one minute. Lower Salum, I can give you 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President. I also talked about resolution that's reconciliation and compliance. But if you go to B, the resolutions and the answer, that's a big gap. So, but then I deem necessary, is not under your purview, might be the environment, how it goes, and how the manpower budget is approved. Because it's approved from the 1st of January to 31st of December. There's no environment that could be on PEs and OCs. But then because of the minister is not here, I was able to keep my answer unless I meet him on the reconciliation. Thank you very much.
Aku ya question okay. Huh? You know the answer.
Yes, this is why I don't need answer from the Vice President.
You want the Vice President's answer?
No, I want the answer from the Minister. This is why it's not on his purview. Yes.
Around. Okay. Honorable Member for Kansala, I give you 1 minute.
Yes, for me, I want to direct this because I'm not clear to the Minister of Health's question regarding issue of Bansang. So I wanted to pose a question to it for clarification in terms of the resolution 5. Yes, if I'm permitted.
Pardon? Bansang has a number.
Yeah, I said Bansang 7.
7.
Yeah, number 3 in Bansang.
Is 7 number 3?
Sorry, number 5. Bansang 7, number 5.
Number 5. Yes, and what's your question?
Yes, my question is regard towards the allowances that he has said they've based on not approved. PMO didn't, so they sat with the board, pushing it through to his ministry, that of Minister of Public PMO and Finance, finally for endorsement. I do wanted to know, because if you look at his responses, they said the cost for the firewood 1 week for the donkey cart is about $1,000. So I want to clarify, is it the budget proposal for this year or last year? And if it is so, how much is it specified for the support staff? Looking at the cost of the donkey cart, you have said is $1,000. And before you were ordinarily paying them $600. How much is, as per, if it is approved, how much was it approved? And which of the year? Is it 2025 or you're now saying subsequently this budget year for 2026?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. My understanding is there were people, staff members, who were given a payment, and that payment was flagged by the auditors as to be inappropriate. So now they are procuring the firewood instead, and that is the increase in amount. So that's what we are talking about. Now they spoke about an allowance also, because there were 2 components. That's different from what was being given to the support staff. That allowance is the one that the hospital still wants, and they are following the right channels to get it approved.
All right. Honorable, I think here is, prior to the audit, Bansang Hospital was getting firewood from staff who were assigned to do it, and they were paid $600 a month, if I get you right, Honorable Minister. Now, when it was flagged by the auditors, now it has to go through the correct way. Now that is costing almost $1,000. $1,000 is for every what? A donkey cart. That it means you pay thousands of dollars for them to get cooking done. So what is your query on that?
Yes, if you look at the line, it says in the hospital budget proposal. I wanted to know which of the year, because this is an audit report of 2021. Is it the budget of 2025 or 2026? If it is so, how much is it levied for the said designated staff to be paid?
Yeah, probably I'll have to confirm that, so I give you the correct information. But if you look at the resolution itself, it has 2 components. There was a firewood payment component, and there was a supervision allowance component. So they are now talking about the supervision allowance. No, not the firewood.
It means, so it means the trial of the firewood would still continue.
Sorry?
I said still the cry and the challenges in terms of firewood in Bansang Hospital will still continue as the look of things. Here, the supervisory is one of that is going through the right channel of being into the budget, and the proposal is also done. So that component of firewood is still not proposed. On
that component of firewood, they stopped the initial practice of giving allowance to some staff members because it was an audit query, and now they are procuring the firewood, following the right procurement channels. Yeah.
What was happening was, it was cheaper for staff to be given some allowances to bring firewood. But the auditors flagged it. It's by far cheaper. They said probably, it may have no legal backings or whatever. Now, if they are to go right way, now they are going to get it from outside through procedures or tender, and that will be more expensive. That's what he's saying. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Once again, on your behalf, let me thank His Excellency the Vice President and the two Honorable Ministers for Health and Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery for your able responses to members' questions. Your Excellency, thank you very much, and I think we will release you. Clerk, may we proceed?
Madam Speaker, can I just want to propose. Is it not a convenient time for us to break and come back? It's after 3 o'clock now.
Members, honorable members, the proposal is that we suspend, go for prayers and lunch, and then come back. Is that okay? All right. When do we come back? It's 15:25 by my watch. It's 25 after 3.
4:15.
We come back at 4 o'clock.
4:15. 4:15.
Pardon?
4:15.
4.
Okay. Okay.
Are you saying 4?
15. 4:15.
You are saying 4:115.
Yes.
4:15.
Yes.
I say 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Councillor, you are saying 4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4:15. Agree to the next 35 minutes. Yeah? Please. But Honorable Member for Bakau, was it Bakau? You know, you raised a very important standing order here. We are going out until 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock? Huh? 4 o'clock? Okay. So the assembly is suspended until 4 o'clock.